Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Money Goddess podcast. I am your host, Jasmine Thomas Bridges, and today's episode, I think, is going to change your life for 2025. What I am talking about today is your inner circle and who you have around you. I am going to be teaching you how to make high value female friends. If you are listening in and you are a male, all of this will still apply. You can take this information to transform not only your personal life, but this is going to magnetically propel your life in the profession that you have, whether it's close friends, associates, if you're thinking about your hobbies, whatever. This is what's going to take you to the next level. And it's something that is not always talked about as much as I think that it should be covered. And as the money goddess, you know, I'm always going to talk about wealth. And one thing I can say for sure is that the people you know are a part of your wealth. Let me say that again. The people you know are a part of your wealth circle. And if you are not careful, you will find yourself depreciating because you are an asset, okay? So if you're around the right people, you are going to appreciate and value. If you're around the wrong people, you will depreciate in value. And you can take that in whatever way you want. I want you in 2025 to treat yourself like an asset. You are a company, a corporation, as an individual. Okay? So that means you have to decide who is going to be a part of your company team and or who does not need to be in that company. So you may have to let some people go, you may have to bring some new people in, but I'm going to help you to attract those high value people into your life by getting real, raw, and authentic with your own self. For those of you who are watching live, hello, hello. I'm so happy to have you here. I am the money goddess. We are digging in and talking about our inner circle. This is going to appreciate our value or depreciate our value. So let's go ahead and dig in. Now, I want to tell you that you are like the 5 people you hang around the most. Whether it is people that you are hanging around in person, online, what you're listening to, what you're watching, this is going to determine your overall value. So, why does this even matter? Because you are going to become whatever it is you are constantly consuming. And you want to take this opportunity to consume or bring around the best of the best. I know this can be very hard because some of you may be thinking, well, I don't quite have the high value friends that I would like to have. I can't get around or in certain circles just yet. Listen, it only starts with one person. So, an example of this, when I first started my personal development journey, I would read certain books, listen to certain podcasts in order to get around the energy of the type of people that I would want to become friends with. Even if you just start there, that is going to help you to get into that right field of potentiality. So I want you to think about what you are consuming, who you are around, and is this actually helping you to become the best version of yourself? It's very easy to think, oh, I've been friends with such and such since I was 5 years old, so I should just stay friends with them for the rest of my life. Listen, that is not how you are going to accelerate. That is not going to bring you to your next level by just keeping people around. You want to evaluate your friendships. I want to say that again. Evaluate your friendships. I typically do this for sure once a year, but if possible, I look every quarter as I am going forward and I'm thinking, okay, is this person really helping me to grow, right? And if they're not, then I need to look to see why I am having them around me. Because you have to determine, is this a toxic relationship? Am I keeping this person because I want to have my comfort zone? Or am I just really afraid to let go because I don't want to be lonely? There are so many reasons why we hold on to friendships that are no longer serving us. And we want to get to the nitty gritty. So now I'm going to give you some action steps of things that you can do. So first, as I already mentioned, you do want to evaluate your circle. You want to create what I call a pyramid of friends. So in your pyramid, if you would, you can take out your journal and draw like a pyramid, and you'll notice at the bottom of the pyramid, these are people that you may associate with, whether it's in clubs, hobbies that you have, a gym buddy, something along those lines. Then as you go up, these might be people that are your actual friends. And as you go closer, you'll notice those may be the people that are closest to you. They really, really know you, intimate details about your life, and the top is you. So you get to choose on those three levels, your associates, your friends, and the people who are closest to you. And you are at the top. Who gets to have the most access to you? What we're doing in 2025 is not giving everyone that C-suite, right? Because the closest to you, that's the C-suite level. Remember, you are a corporation. Those people closest to you should be the only ones that have that access to you. They have worked to gain and earn that access to you. It's not just something that you gave them right away because you were available. I want you all to really sit down and decide, am I giving people too much of myself and they have not earned it? Now, even if this is dealing with friendships, I want to even bring this to relationships, because a lot of people enter relationships and you have not even made a person be on the bottom of the pyramid. They're not even a friend. And now they have all of this access to you. You want to make sure the people who have access to you have put in that work. You all have built a bond. You know that you can trust them without a doubt. You're not just allowing any and everyone to enter into your space in this season. We are growing past that. There are levels to having a friendship with you because you know the value that you bring naturally. You know how good of a friend that you really are, and you deserve to have that reciprocity. We want to make sure that the people that we are pouring into can pour it back into us. Because we are no longer just being these people that give our value away for free. We give our time away for free. Do that from your heart because that is what you feel called to do. But a lot of us in our friendships, these relationships, we're doing all of this extra service and they are just sitting there benefiting for free. And that is no longer what we're going to be able to do. We are now stepping into an era where we are expecting the people that say they love us, the people that say they are, our friends and our close people, they are going to have to step it up in our lives in order to stay at that level. There has to be work done. If they're going to be in the C-suite and even call themselves a friend, we have to have higher expectations or they get bumped down to the pyramid level. And there is nothing, or the pyramid bottom level, there's nothing wrong with having associates at all. But we want to be clear that we're not moving people into friend categories and C-suite, which is the closest level, without them having to do that work. So I want you, as you are journaling on this, in your pyramid, I want you to think, what do they contribute to your greatness? What do your friends do that actually help you? So I know for a fact that I have at least one friend that I know really helps me emotionally. If I'm going through something, I can pick up the phone and call them, and I feel like they would give me some sound advice. I have another friend who is more so someone that I like to do things with. For example, if we're up leveling together, like right now we're working on fitness. So we didn't even tell each other we were doing this, but now, we actually did today. And I'm like, okay, like I love this. I love having a friend that I can do this with and not necessarily do it alone. So there are people in your life that are going to contribute different things, and you might need different things in your life. Your friends or your closest friends are not going to always give you everything, right? I sometimes, if someone has just, one friend ever, it makes me worry a little bit, because it's like, okay, but there are other people out there who may be able to contribute more to you, and you're thinking and putting all that pressure on one person. That's a lot. So you want to, and I'm going to talk about this more a little bit later, I do want you to open yourself up to different people, and they may not be the closest to you, but having those other friends and associates can also benefit your life. Now, I want to point out that you still need to be a good friend. Even though we're talking about how those people contribute to us, we want to think about, what do we naturally do in our friendships, or what do we naturally do as a people that helps others or inspires them, just being who we are. So I know me, I am a teacher. I love to share insight of anything that I know. And I'll give you an example. When we have friends over, like if they say they have a certain problem, I'm like, oh, well, XYZ. And I help them problem solve. It can be something as simple as I eat a vegan vegetarian diet, and someone was saying they wanted to start that. I'm like, okay, come to my refrigerator. These are the things that I buy. This is high protein. I'm always teaching people everywhere I go. It doesn't matter if they ask me to teach them or not. That is just a natural thing that I do. Another thing I do is encourage and inspire. I'm on here doing this as a part, of course, of my podcast, but as a friend, I naturally inspire and encourage people. I uplift them. I tell them that they can do this. I invite them to do different challenges with me, or even Bible studies. I mean, it's just who I am as a person. And I know the value that I bring, because there aren't many friends out here that are inspiring people to be their greatest. There are a lot of people who are just being, basic, and they don't want to grow. They don't want to pivot. They don't want to do those things. But I naturally bring that out of my friends, and they want to be better. So because I know that, because I know how much I have helped my friends in those areas, I might not expect them to do that for me, because that might not be their gift, but they may have other things that they do naturally that really does propel me forward. And I'm always going to be thankful for that. And I'm going to see, okay, you know what? I appreciate this, and this is going to make us go further. I also want to point out that you do have to nurture your relationships. There's something that I notice in terms of people becoming friends too quickly, is that people are not always putting that effort into friendships, especially as we get older. And I do understand, we get busy. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an educational consultant, I'm a radio and TV show host, I'm a fitness baddie. I'm doing a lot of different things at once. So I get that. But I think that it's important, especially as women, to nurture your relationships. That might mean, hey, let's schedule in a weekly chat, or hey, let's go to the gym together. Let's do this, let's do that. Now, some of your friends may live across the country like mine do, but I think it's important that if people are going to be, especially in your C-suite of friends or just a friend in general, you have to put that time in. And if you notice that people are not making an effort for that time, you may not be a priority to them. And in your friendships, high value friends prioritize the people that are important to them and that make an impact. If you notice that you're not a priority to people, then you need to move on, and they will go down to the associates category, and you might not put as much time with them. I heard Haley Gamba say this. She is a YouTuber. I can't remember which video she had, but she was like, reward inconsistency with unavailability. And I thought to myself, that's what a high value woman would do, just a high value person in general. If you are not consistent with me and putting in the time or the effort to be a good friend, to be in my life, and I am trying to do that with you, then I'm not going to be available when you need me. That's not fair. That's not how the world works. So if we're going to be that high value friend ourselves, we have to do what we need to do to propel ourselves forward and have the right people in our lives that are really going to nurture what it is we have. I want to make sure that you all understand, as you elevate, there are going to be less people that should have access to you, and that is totally okay. The more access that you give people should be the more work that you all are able to put in. Everybody can't put in that work that you might be able to put in, because everyone is at different seasons and you can have a different level of understanding. However, you want to make sure that you are well aware of your elevation. So all the people you might have had 20 years ago that are your best friends, or you grew up with them on the block, whatever it is, the role that they play in your life and what you all are doing is going to look totally different now that you have other things going on. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes we want to just keep things the same, and we don't want to accept that change. We don't want to let go of that person. But that is the only way we are going to grow and we are going to advance. If you notice that you are beginning to lose more friends, and not because of like cattiness or arguments or anything like that, but just they kind of fall off, and it's just like it's not, the connection is just not there. Listen, that is making room for the right people to come into your life and add value to your life. I can think of so many people that have begun to add value in my life, especially in my work field. They bring my name up in certain settings, just like I bring their name up, right? If I notice something's going on, an opportunity, and even if I can take it, I still let them know, like, hey, like, look, this is available. This is something you might want to look into. That is going to make things better for you. So don't worry about those who are not showing up, who aren't where you would like for them to be in your pyramid. The right people will be there, but don't hold that space. Don't hold that space for people that don't want to be there. Let those who want to be there come in. So I'm going to tell you something that I know changed my life. The right people will also add value. And then I have an example with my husband. So my husband and I, we've known each other for almost 15 years. We didn't start dating until about 10 years ago, and then we were engaged, we broke up, we got back together in 2020 during the pandemic. And I want to tell you, he came in bringing so much value to my life. I literally quantum leaped with the value that he brought in. Okay? It was a monetary value, it was a protection, it was an elevation. The things that I wanted to do as a single, and I was like, God, like, why am I having to wait on this? Why am I having to wait on this? When he showed up as the best version of himself, and I showed up as the best version of myself, everything just went for us. It was like boom, 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 boom. We purchased a house together in the middle of the pandemic. That should not have been possible. We also were able to purchase a car together. We were able to start businesses together. And my own personal business also quantum leaped. When the right people come in, they add to your life, not take away. So I want you to think about who is adding value to your life and be grateful for them. Let them know. But if you notice that people are just here and they are taking from you and they're not adding, they're not reciprocating, they're not giving that love that you really need, because everyone is different. Everyone has their own needs that they have or want to have met. Keep that in mind and don't feel bad about it. You might be a person who has more needs when it comes to friendships versus others. You might just be like, hey, and bye. And that might be enough for you. Be authentic to yourself and know what you need. And don't just let people say things like, oh my gosh, we're besties and we're this and we're that. Let them show you. Let them show you. They have to show you that as opposed to just talking the talk. Let people walk the walk. And that is going to really, really let you know who is it and who isn't. So what I'm going to do is end off on this piece of the episode because I don't want to spoil the next section. I'm going to go into the nitty-gritty details. I'm talking about healing. I'm talking about how to become magnetically attractive, and then how to open yourself up to bring the right friends into your lives. Because these are steps that I know I didn't learn from my youth, and these are things that I have learned going into adulthood. And now in my 30s, the way that I move and the way that I do things is different. Especially if you are not around a lot of people. Like, yes, you may have your work friends, you may have people you communicate with, but our lives kind of become centralized whenever we have to have that focus. And we don't have a plethora of people that we can meet every day like maybe we did when we were college students or in high school together. So I want you to be ready to tune back into this when we come back. You guys, I really, really want you to stay tuned because I promise you, this is going to change your life. This is going to up your money. Okay, your net work is your net worth. So you want to make sure that you are part of that. Stay tuned.